Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Jessica and I love to make DIY videos. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I created 7 different Dollar Tree DIYs that are perfect for Easter. I have to say that these are the cutest DIYs I have ever created, if I do say so myself. I just think they're really adorable and I love all the cheery pastel colors. They really are just so perfect for spring and Easter. But before we get started, if you are new here, I would love for you to join us by subscribing down below and make sure you turn on notification bell so you never miss out on a new video. For this first DIY, I'm going to be using these 2 wood frames from the Dollar Tree. They come in this 3.5 by 5 size and they are adorable. They are really great quality, and if you can find these, definitely pick them up because they're just perfect for crafts but also just for photos. And you're also going to need these free printables from my blog, so I created these for you guys and I will leave the link for this right down below. And here is my blog, so when you click that link, you're going to head on over here and you just want to scroll down past those pictures and then you will see the links for the free printables. So for this first DIY, you're just going to click right here for the first one and then you can just print this out. And I do like to print these out on cardstock so it's nice and sturdy, but you could definitely just print it out on regular printer paper. And then right here are the other 2 free printables that you will need for later on in the video. When you pick whichever ones you would like to use, you can just go ahead and cut them out on that little black line there. It is sized perfectly for this frame, but you can also use any other frame that is 3.5 by 5, and these will work of course. And you can frame yours behind the glass, but I usually like to put it above the glass, that way it doesn't have that glare and it kind of looks more like a framed art print than just a framed picture. But however you like, feel free to go ahead and frame your pictures. And here is how these 2 turned out, and I am obsessed with them. How cute are these? And for only $1 each, I think that they are a perfect little quick DIY. This next DIY is going to be another very quick one, and you're just going to want to start off with a 5 by 7 frame. So I picked this one up at Dollar Tree of course, and I just really love the rustic look of it. I thought it was perfect for Easter. And then you're also going to need this free printable. So this one is also located on that same blog post, so I will leave that link down below for you. And then I'll also be using these carrots that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. I just printed this one out on some cardstock as well, and now I'm just going to go ahead and cut out on those black lines there. And like I said, this will fit any 5 by 7 frame perfectly, so I did frame this one above the glass as well, and you will see why in a second. So those carrots that I picked up at the Dollar Tree, I'm going to be using 3 of them for this craft, and I'm going to be hot gluing them in the center of the free printable. I just laid them out here on the paper just to get the placement right, and then I kind of noticed that the green was going to be a little bit too tall, so I did give each carrot a little bit of a trim. And then I just started with my center carrot and I just used some hot glue just right along it, and then I glued it right in the center. And then you're going to see I glued my other 2 right next to it, and I kind of just lined them up to make sure I had the placement correct first, and then I just added a little bit of hot glue. This DIY only cost me about $1.50 since I only used half of the carrots, but I will be using the other 3 coming up soon, so make sure you stay tuned to see that DIY too. And that is it. Like I said, really quick and simple, and just honestly so cute. Look at that 3D effect. I just love the profile of this DIY. I just think it's really simple and clean looking, but really adorable. Next DIY coming up is one of my favorites. So you're going to want to start off by getting a vase from the Dollar Tree and one of their glass candle holders. So I already had this one made, so I'm just going to be using this one today. But if you do not have one, you just want to pick up those 2 glassware pieces and just attach them with some hot glue or some E6000 glue. That is my favorite. And then I'm also going to be using 2 packs of these faux eggs that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. When I'm taking off the raffia bow, I'm just pulling it off really carefully because I do want to use it later on in this DIY. We definitely want to reuse whenever we can. And I just love these eggs. Like, look how pretty that is. These are just one of my favorite finds this year from the Dollar Tree, so I stocked up on them. And I think that if you just take the wrapping off and just leave the egg carton sitting out on your table with the 6 eggs, that alone is a beautiful decoration. I ended up being able to fit 8 eggs in total into this vase here, but Dollar Tree does have some taller vases, so if you pick up one of those, you could probably fit all 12 eggs into that one. And now I'm just taking that raffia bow that I pulled off the packaging. I did not even have to retie it or anything. It just fit perfectly right around the vase, and I think that it just added a perfect little finishing touch. Look how beautiful those pastel colors are. They just scream Easter, but yet they're very elegant and understated. I just absolutely love it. This one would be perfect for your Easter tablescape, and our next DIY is going to be perfect for that dining room table as well. I'm going to be starting off with this plastic plate that I picked up at the Dollar Tree, and this one just has really beautiful scalloped edges, and I just love using this one in DIYs because of how pretty it is. And they have it around all year, so you definitely should be able to find it. And the next item is this glass candlestick from the Dollar Tree, and you'll see here that the plate already has a circle in the center and it fits into the candlestick perfectly, so these two were made for each other. And I'm going to be using this spray paint here to paint them today. This is the Rust-Oleum brand, French lilac and the satin finish, and it is beautiful. I used this spray paint for the first time in my last Easter video for these Rae Dunn inspired wood beads, and I just fell in love with it. If you guys are interested in that, I will leave that video linked down below. But after I saw the color on the wood beads, I was just trying to think of another way to use it because I was so obsessed with it. Here is how everything turned out after 2 coats of that spray paint, and like I said, it is the most beautiful lilac pastel color. And now I just have to attach my two, so for this today I'm just going to be using some hot glue. So I just went ahead and put some on top of my candlestick, and I just turned my plate over. Like I said, it already has that circle, so I did not have to worry about lining it up or anything. Now you can just give it a little push to make sure that it is nice and secure, and you want to give it a little bit of time to dry, and that is it. You have a beautiful purple pie plate that is perfect for your desserts, of course, but I like to use mine to display some of my DIYs, and these adorable little carrots in a pot is our next DIY coming up right now. I'm going to be using this little mini terracotta pot that I picked up in the gardening section of the Dollar Tree. They come in a pack of 2, so I had this one left over from a previous craft, so I'm happy I'm getting to use it now. And you guessed it, I have to use more of that purple spray paint because, like I said, it is just so pretty. But I don't want to cover the entire pot in the purple because I really love the look and the texture of that terracotta. So I'm just going to be using some painter's tape here and covering up the entire bottom portion of that little pot, and I'm just going to be leaving the lip exposed to spray paint it. This is how it turned out after just 1 coat of that lilac spray paint, and I really like the texture and the look of the 2 different colors. I think it looks really cool. And now I'm just going to take some twine that I got at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to wrap it around a couple times, and then I'm going to tie it into a little bow. And now to fill the center of my pot, I'm just going to be using some raffia. So you can find this at the Dollar Tree as well. They come in a pack of 3 bundles. So I needed less than 1 bundle for this, so I had plenty left over for a future craft. And I just filled up the center here, and now I'm going to get to use those other 3 carrots from that pack that I used earlier. So I'm just going to try and nestle 3 of them into the pot, kind of in a row. You want it to look a little bit rustic, but just make sure that they're nice and secure in there. And this is how it turned out, and how cute is it? It's just really adorable. And this is another craft that is perfect for a tiered tray. Next up are these Rae Dunn inspired shadow boxes, but I already had my shadow boxes prepped from a past craft, so I just wanted to show you really quickly how to do that. So this is how they will look if you pick them up at Dollar Tree, and you just want to take that glass out. So to do it, you just want to take out the screw, pop out the back carefully, and I just used a little screwdriver here just to help me take out that plastic insert, and then I took the glass out and threw it out, and that is it. It's very simple. And then the next thing you'll need are these free printables. So these will be linked down below for you. They are in that same blog post, and these are sized perfectly to fit into these shadow boxes. So after you trim them out, you can just go ahead, take that cardboard back out and put your new picture inside, and then pop it back in, and that is it. You are done. Then I just repeated that same process for my second one, and very quickly I had these two Rae Dunn inspired Happy Easter shadow boxes. I love to change these out for every holiday since it's so quick and easy, and if you are interested in past holidays, you can definitely find those on my blog as well. For this last DIY, you're going to need these 3 glass items from the Dollar Tree. So I'm using one of their glass candle holders as well as this glass candle plate. And I just glued them together. I already had this on hand, so I think I attached these with some E6000, but again, you can definitely use some hot glue for this. And then the third glass item you're going to need is this little bowl. And this is also found in their candle area. That is where I picked up all 3 of these. Since my stand was already glued together, I'm going to get started on the dome portion of this craft. So I wanted to add a little topper for it. So I'm just going to take a little scrap piece of raffia here, and I'm just looping it around and pulling it through to knot it. And then I'm just going to be trimming it right under that knot. And then I'm going to hot glue it to the bottom of that little glass bowl. So I basically flip the glass bowl upside down, and now the bottom is the top, if that makes sense at all. It will make more sense when you see it here. And I'm just going to be gluing the raffia into the center of it. This is going to act as the little pull for the glass dome, but it's just going to be decorative, so do not use this to lift the lid at all because it could come off since it's just hot glued on. But I thought it just kind of gave it a nice little decorative touch. So now I'm just going to take my wood bead and I'm just going to squeeze that little loop together from the raffia and then just slide my wood bead onto it. And then to make sure that my wood bead did not come off, I just put a little bit more hot glue under it to secure it in place. Now that our lid is done and our stand is glued together, we can get ready to assemble it all. So I'm also going to be using this little ceramic bunny that came in this painting kit from the Dollar Tree. And once I saw him, I knew I had to use him in something. He was just too cute. And I think that he looks really nice as is, so I'm not going to glue him. But I did want to take out that little tiny metal piece in the top of his head, and it was harder than I thought. So I had to use some needle nose pliers, but once I applied some pressure very carefully, it did come out. But you could just take the string out and leave it if you don't want to risk damaging the bunny. And now I'm just going to be using some of this green moss that I picked up in the floral section of the Dollar Tree. And I just made a little green bed for our bunny, and then I placed him right in the center, and then I put the lid on, and that is it. That bunny is just so sweet, and this is another DIY that you could definitely change out seasonally since you can just switch up whatever you put in the center of the dome. And that is all the DIYs that I have for you guys today. I really hope that you enjoyed them, and if you did, please do not forget to subscribe. I would love to have you join us for future videos, and make sure you turn on that notification bell so you are alerted right away. Thank you guys so much for watching.